Hi, this is Clever Sausage, and I've been doing what I do as usual. Look around on YouTube at different things, find different things interesting. I just finished watching a movie about aliens and origins, History Channel one with that George Stephanopoulos, what his name is. Yeah, pretty general, not that interesting to me. And then I recall, well, I had a thought. That the Bible, all the scriptures. When I read the Sumerian, Akkadian, and Babylonian cuneiform texts, stories of Enumeraleish, Epic of Gilgamesh, and so forth. I come to the realization that these stories, so-called myths, were actually adopted and adapted by the Jews, right? Okay. Many claim, that they're the descendants of the Mesopotamians are the descendants of the Sumerians, the Akkadians, Babylonians, and all that sort of stuff. I think history might actually prove that. They may say, I haven't heard yet, but they may say, we're descendants, so we can do that sort of thing, right? But it's all been adopted and adapted over the centuries. They've taken the Noah's Ark and the flood story, and adopted it and then adapted it, changing names and details. Okay, minute details. For example, the name of Noah to Pancham. The length of time the ark was underwater during the flood, right? In comparison to the Babylonian cuneiform text, as explained by what's his name, Irving Finkel, was it? On his video Noah's Ark Creative Feature, where he translated the cuneiform text of the Babylonian text, right, and found that there was a step-by-step guide to building an ark or a coracle. Okay, and he, as part of a project, did that and proved that using his step-by-step guide from the so-called gods, the pantheon, right? One particular god, I think it was Enki, or maybe Anu, that loved the creation so much that the other gods are going to wipe them out by hitting the polar ice caps, melting them all, right, and then just flooding the whole world, getting rid of them, right, and then fly off in the spaceship, as I mentioned another year. But this so-called pantheotic god loved these creatures so much that wanted them to survive, so he got hold of this Noah boat builder. See, here's the instructions to build a boat. Put yourself and whoever, your friends, whatever, your family, and your sons and daughters, wives, or whatever, in the boat. Okay, and then survive. When it's all over, live on. That sort of stuff. Okay. Defying the Sunday school picture and story you usually told to kids about this sushi roll looking ark, or something that looks like one of those ice cream banana boats you get at some of those ice cream parlours. So I come to that realisation. So I'm thinking, well, a lot of people this is what I put here. Right, I'll get the lady to say exactly what was on my mind, right?
I pretty much did what many here say they did. Read the ancient Sumerian, Akkadian, Babylonian texts and realized when I compared the two, the Bible and the cuneiform myths, that all the Bible accounts have been adopted and then adapted by the Jews, meaning they changed names and details of the so-called myths as they've adopted and then adapted the culture, traditions and customs, even languages, of their many captors while in captivity over the centuries. You coming to the conclusions Mauro did without knowing he was doing the same work near establishes the Z-Sitchin's facts as fact, as three in sync agreement not knowing each other, never meeting and pushing their opinions to sway the other two to their way of understanding, establishes a fact as fact, right? Closing parenthesis dot.
Yeah, basically in a nutshell, I pretty much did what everyone else on the comment section of this under this video saying. They've read the ancient Sumerian Akkadian Babylonian text, realised when I compared the two, that the Bible and the cuneiform myths, putting them side by side, that all the Bible accounts have been adopted and then adapted by the Jews. Okay, that's the people who decided to, the original Jews. They're the ones who called themselves Jews at some point in history. They took the first two letters of their tribal name and called themselves Jews. The Yahudi, the Yahuda, or the people of the tribe of Judah. Okay, Judeans. Yeah, so they've adopted and then adapted the culture, traditions, and customs, even languages of their many captives while in captivity over the centuries. This guy Gerald Clark came to the conclusions Mauro Biglino, Italian translator, publisher working for the Vatican, without knowing he was doing the same work. He had no idea someone else was actually doing that, right? So that near establishes the Zechariah Sitchin facts as fact, as three not knowing each other, but never met. Like, you don't have three Romans, because they might have met, come across each other, and try to sway each other to their opinion, or accept one person's opinion, right, and adopt it. Okay, so if they're in sync, agreement, and not knowing each other, not even meeting, and pushing their opinions, like I said, to sway the other two to their way of understanding, this establishes a fact as a fact. It's got to synchronise, okay? So as I said, you would have three Romans. You'd have like maybe a Roman from one period, maybe a Greek from the latter period, and then maybe someone further down the track from a more modern period, right? A couple of centuries after, or modern times, whatever. Okay. So yeah, I was looking at this guy's video. The two, Gerald Clark interviewing Mauro Biglino, right? Biglino. Okay. And it's really, really good, right? There's a lot of people that say, oh, the translator's hopeless and all that, Well, it's kind of hard, like, I think, like, if you're trying to translate into a language that you don't really speak, okay, through a translator who's trying to relate to an English-speaking person, what that person is saying, right? In the Italian here, right? By translating the Italian, an Italian translating the Italian, trying to put it across what he's saying to the English listener in English. Okay, it's very, very difficult. Could be very difficult. Okay. And a lot of people, of course, the Christians, whatever, really into the Bible and all that sort of stuff. But so they'd say this and that, God, blah blah blah, so that rubbish, blah blah, God said this, God said that, usual thing, right? They don't want to hear that. Okay, like some of them say it'll blow away a lot of the Christians, right? That their story is originating from so-called Sumerian Akkadian Babylonian myths, right? And might not actually just be myths, they might actually be fact, right? Okay, here's a big history of it someone's written, half a page. Wasn't me this time. Okay, but yeah, there's a lot of good comments here, like, people have woken up to that truth because of this guy. So I was thinking, well, a lot of people say, oh no, it's all rubbish, it's all a lie, sort of Satan, whatever these, creationists or whatever come up with as an excuse. But you need to prove that this guy is, one, a total liar, telling the truth, or he's a total lunatic, right? Because if you're just going blah blah blah, he's this, he's that, with no evidence, no proof, well then it's just hearsay, isn't it? Okay, so what I found is that he has a lot of other videos, but unfortunately they're all in Italian, so you really need somebody who, I guess, is fluent in Italian, or can speak it really well, speak and understand it really well. It's not going to add their own flavour, bias, prejudice or twist to it, They translate word for word. Well, in these interviews he should be correcting these people, if he can sort of figure out what they're relaying to a person who speaks English. Say, no, that's not what I said, I think he might be doing that. Not so much growling, but actually stressing that this is what he means by it. Okay, so people that are poo-pooing all that, fair enough, that's their free will, their choice to do so, right? But it's unjust, unfair, if unjustifiable if you're pointing the finger in his eye, poking him in the eye, and saying he's this and that, when they haven't done the research. Okay, they haven't provided the evidence. Because I think some people are not actually listening to what he's saying as well, because he does stress in this video, right, interview with Sarah Whistle, that he was commissioned by the Vatican, San Paulo, Vatican publishing house, to translate these Masorete texts, right, because they wanted to know what it said. Okay, because he had published a few books before, and they're quite impressed, so they wanted to use him because they know that he brought the results that they were after. Okay, that's what it's saying in this video. Okay, so he's got an Italian interviewer with her and all this, a translator, whatever, relaying what he's actually written, what he found, and what he's written, But a lot of people in the comments say, "Oh, she's hopeless," that sort of stuff, as I said before, it's hard to relay what a guy who doesn't really know English that well through the Italian, saying what he's saying in the Italian to a person in English. Okay, it's quite difficult, I suppose, to get that exact or that near translation of what he's actually saying, right? Okay, so you get that, what he's trying to get across, you fully understand you fully grasp what he's trying to get across to people, right? In his book, but he said basically, he was hired by the Vatican to interpret or translate the Masorete text into English. He had all the tools available, like he could go to the Vatican vaults and get all the hidden information, all that sort of stuff if he wanted to. He had access, complete access. But he says, no, I know he said the Hebrew or the Greek and the Latin really, really well, so I don't need all that. So then he translates it, and he gets a shock horror. It's got this other story. It's like an onion, right? And he peels away all these layers, gets to the core of it, and there's a freaking different story underneath all the stories we've come to know, right? Through churches and evangelists and all that sort of stuff, right? So he decides to reveal it, and then in turn, when the Vatican finds out, they cancelled his contracts, right? He'd already put out so many books, he'd already published them, so they couldn't do much about that. But they stopped him from, they tried to stop him from publishing his findings through their company. So he's gone solo, and he's done it over the years through a different source. Okay, as he said, there's some people that oppose what he's doing, right? But then there's ones, as witnessed in many of the other videos, but unfortunately they're in Italian, that admit, they acknowledge that what he's discovered or uncovered is actually true. These are the elites, these rabbis, etc., that admit they knew, that these stories were under all these layers, but they didn't talk about it, right? They never spoke up about it. Okay, so yeah, again they've acknowledged, they've admitted that someday all that truth is going to come to the surface. Okay, it's going to blow people away because it's the truth. So still people will poo-poo him and say, oh no, it's all rubbish, he's a liar, all this sort of stuff. But you need to go do your research, right? Would help if you spoke Italian fluently, or you know it very, very well. And as I said before, don't add your bias, your prejudice, and twist, and try to add your own flavour to it, and give people a totally bogus perspective or point of view or opinion or whatever, that you're completely honest, so people can, because people have the right to know the truth. Okay? Don't suppress it. Don't try to hold it back. Don't give them a false information, because it's like it's happened already and people are sick of it. It's about time someone stepped up and told the real truth. Okay? As he's trying to do. Yeah, so it causes doubt, like it's going to cause doubt in the mind of Christians, right? Many devout, let's say brainwashed ones, to be blunt. It's like this old saying that the church had, even if the Bible proves to be a lie, still believe it. So yeah, they're going to believe it to the bitter end. They're going to defend that, what they believe. They're defenders of the faith. Come hell or high water, they'll die defending it, because that's their belief, right? They put all their belief in there. So yeah, some people some people in their minds, it's set in stone, and there's no other. You can't. It's been said like 2,000 years ago. It's been set in stone. So and so said this, and so said that. So and so said that, and this and whatever. And that's the way it is. It's like Bruce Lee with the martial arts. He found that 98% of it was BS, right? So he, absorbed what was useful and disregarded what was crap, what was useless to him. Okay. So yeah, it's basically the same sort of ideal. You go through all so-called traditional mess, right, as Bruce Lee would put it about martial arts. People have that way that it's been like this for 2,000 years. We've been doing it for 2,000 years like this, and that's it. It's set in stone, and that's it. You can't change it, right? But if you do the research and all that sort of stuff, and you dig and you find out the truth, unearth the truth, right? Bring it out. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to reveal it. Reveal the truth, the whole truth and nothing but that truth. Because people have been fooled for so long, over the centuries, I don't know, since Jesus' days and maybe even before that. They've just been duped, tricked, hoodwinked, and fleeced for money. So this is the age where that sort of thing's got to stop. It has to stop. It's like war. Okay, war is an unnecessary evil, but in some points it is necessary when you have a flagging economy, all that sort of stuff. But the barbarity, the cruelty, the unnecessary bombing of hospitals and all that sort of stuff, that's got to stop too. By these regimes and these corrupt politicians. of these different countries that are doing it. They're trying to force them, destroy their cities and force them out for whatever motive or agenda, hidden agenda they've got. Yeah, that's got to stop as well. There's lots of other things that got to stop too. You know, if people always go, oh, peace, love, dove, and you know, brotherhood of man and all that sort of stuff, while they're punching somebody's head. You know, yeah. I mean, if people are saying all men should unite, you know, stop wars and all that sort of stuff, but they're punching someone's head in, or shooting them, you know, or blowing them up or whatever, it's hearsay, isn't it? It's a load of rubbish. Anyway, digressing here. Yeah, so become a more human, you know, a people human. Treat everyone as human, you know. We're all human. We all live on the same planet. We all play in the same gigantic sandbox. There's plenty of sand for everyone, you know. If we just provide sand for everybody, you know, instead of being greedy and, you know, all that sort of stuff, needy. Yes, not so. I don't reckon it's so much the people. I'd poke the finger at, you know, regimes, fascist regimes, racist, you know, regimes, sects, belief systems, you know, all those with an agenda. They're trying to make money off the gullible, you know, by trickery, any means possible, any means that they can, right? It's all out there. You can see it for yourself if you know, open your eyes. Yeah, all that stuff's got to stop. Like, you know, meeting a person that has a different lifestyle that you don't agree with because you've read it in a book, you know, a holy book or Harry Potter or whatever, right? And you think, well, it's written in that book, so that's the way it is. You know, and you're like hardcore trying to shove it down someone else's throat. You need to like learn better PR skills, how to relate to other people. It's all relationship, isn't it? Relationship. Yeah, and practice tolerance. Have a skill in tolerance. You know, whatever's been thrown at you, remain cool as a cucumber in a winter blizzard, right? Yeah, and learn how to use your words properly, correctly, effectively. Okay, how to know which to use and which not to use. How people are going to react. You know, maybe learn some body language. You know, and all that sort of stuff. It's like being pre-ready, you know, for that attack. Okay, it's like wearing armor, protective armor. So you know, whatever they sling at you, the arrows or rocks they sling at you, bounce off. Right? They don't hurt you. Like, learn to not take it to heart, and all that sort of stuff. Because people will come at you, and they will, you know, because they have their views, perspectives, opinions, or perspective views and opinions, right? Their ideas, and because you're not accepting their opinion as the one, right? They tend to want to give you crap, basically, right? And you got a whole lot of page sills and trolls in there that just don't need to do that, you know. Yeah, so be a people person. Okay, I think I covered what I wanted to say, so I might just leave it at that. Hope you learned something from that. Hope you learned something from this Mauro Biglino. Okay, if you like that, please subscribe to my channel and leave your comments in the comment section. Whether you loved it, you love the clever sausage, or you absolutely hate this video. Okay, we'll get back to you as soon as we can to answer those, you know. And hoping you have a great day. Watch this video, you know, and really listen to it with an open mind. Okay, make sure you listen to it properly, you know, word for word. Okay, and also this one, Tooth Bombs and Anunnaki Origins. Yeah, because this guy Gerald Clark, as I was saying earlier, he was doing the same research, not knowing that Mauro Biglino, Biglione, oh jeez, Biglino was actually doing the same research, but for the Vatican, and they came up with comparative views, okay, or realizations. So they got together, had an interview, and they established that, right, through an Italian translator, of course. Yeah, another one here, down here, is The Rise of Islam by Roy Casagrande. It actually makes you think about how Mohammedanism, or today's Islam, was actually quite nice, in the days of Omar. But today's Islam is very extreme, very, very different, right? Okay, yeah. Okay, so have a look at that one. Okay, might be a couple more Biglinos down here. No, I don't see any. Okay, yeah, there's some really interesting stuff, like people revealing the truth. So have a look at those, and enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out.